Hello and welcome to another episode of Ken's Training. Today's training is going to be on changing out a hydraulic door closer. I am working solo today, so I do not have a cameraman, so I'm going to be behind the camera, but I'm going to try to give you, the audience, everything you need to know in order to change out one of these things on your own. Takes about an hour to do it. If you've never done it before and you want to go through the directions a little bit slower, could take approximately 2 hours. The door I'm working with is that we're in a commercial office building. We're in the restroom. It's the bathroom door, and I'm going to show you the existing door closer here. This building's 28 years old. The door closer here is shot. So we're going to replace it. I'm going to show you what the door is doing and how we arrived at the door needing to be changed, the door closer needing to be changed out. So here we go. Alright, here's the door closer, the existing door closer that we're going to change out. And the cover's already been removed. One thing, if the camera is going to pick this up, hopefully, there is like some oil dripping down the door from the door closer. That's one of the telltale signs that the door closer is bad. Also, there's like a little drawing written on the closer itself that tells you where the adjustments are located. There are 3 adjustments on the closer. They are the speed, the latch, the latching speed, the door speed, the latching speed, and then the back check. And I'll explain all of those right now. Alright, so here's the door right here. I'm going to open the door. Now, back check is when you push the door all the way open. Back check gives you some resistance so that it doesn't like slam into the wall. The door speed is when the door does about 80% of its travel from the fully open position to about the last 10% actually, so it's about 90% of the travel is the speed. The latching speed is the last 10% where it kind of slows out before it hits the resting position. Personally, I like a door, once the door is in the fully open position, I like to adjust the closer so that it has a total time to close of approximately 7 seconds, 5 to 7 seconds. So here we go. We open the door. 1, 2, 3. And you'll notice that on the speed adjustment, it just slams right in there. So if you're the person walking out of the door and you come up like that, it's kind of kicking you in the tail as you're pushing through. It's not exactly slamming because the latch adjustment is still working on the closer. Now, on a closer like this, if you wanted to slow the speed down, what you do is you find the adjusting screw, which is usually an Allen, and you simply tighten it down. On this particular closer, it's a 3/32 inch Allen wrench. I already tightened it down to the fully tightened position. There's no more tightening down, and that's because this closer is completely shot. So, no worries. We're going to just simply change out the closer for a brand new closer. Now, the closer that I like to replace these with is from McMaster-Carr. It's a universal door closer, and I really like it because it's good for a variety of different applications. I only have to inventory one door closer, and it's $137. And I'll show you the door closer and the unboxing of what you get inside. If you do order them from McMaster-Carr right now. Okay, here is your door closer. This is the McMaster-Carr information. This is the stock number 2008A11. It cost $137.25. On the box it says design hardware. Over here it gives you some more information there about the door closer. And now we'll go ahead and open that up and show you what you get inside for your money. So when you open it up, it comes with the mounting bolts here if you wanted to use. These are 6 bolts, which we probably won't use on mine. Plus it's got all this mounting hardware here, an Allen wrench right there for the adjustment. Let's see if I can show you that any better. Inside here gives you the a linkage for the top arm that goes to the frame. There's your cover right there. This is the actual closer itself right here. Gives you one set of instructions right here. So installation instructions for the closer and so forth. Here is some more instructions, what you get for the closer right there. And hang on, you also get this mounting plate, because I want this plate to go on the door first. And then if you were going to use it, depending upon your installation, you could also use this right here. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take the existing door closer and I'm going to completely remove that from the door. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. One other thing I should mention, when you're working on the door closer, one thing you want to do to make sure no one's going to open the door on you, in my case I'm working in the restroom, so I put a restroom close sign, but usually a sign is not enough. Then I even take my cart and I physically block the entryway there to make sure that no one can actually, they have to move the cart in order to come in on me. So I'm just trying to make it as difficult as possible for someone to try to come in, since I'm going to be working on this side of the door, on the door closer, because if I'm up there with my hands on the closer and they try to open the door unexpectedly to me, my hands could get pinched or something like this. So you just want to take some precautions to try to prevent anybody from coming in on you on the opposite end of the door. That's all. Okay, here we go. First thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to loosen up the set screw that holds the arm to the frame right there, just right here. So now the door is no longer under the spring tension of the closer. This is a Corbin Russwin closer. It's got two Phillips head screws here. Pull those out. I already pulled out one. Here's the second one. Then what you can do is you can move it this way. Hang on a second. Someone's fighting me a little bit. Basically, there it is. Okay. And that just comes out. So then I just got 4 screws that hold this plate in, and then 2 screws that hold this in right here. I'll go ahead and pull those out right now. By the way, here's the closer that I took out. You can, I don't know, right here, there's a whole bunch of oil underneath, just further indicating that the seal is shot. Here's the information that it says on the closer that I took out. And then here is the sticker that came with they mounted on the closer to tell you, what the closing speed, where the adjustment is. The latching speed is here on the end of the closer. And then over here is the back check speed, how you can adjust that one as well. And if you wanted to, there's a nut on the end so you can adjust the spring power adjustment. And it says EM Hardware Group. It's a portion of, it's a division of Russwin division. So it's like a Corbin Russwin product. Anyways, I just wanted to show you that. Okay, so after you removed it, this is what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a completely blank slate on the door. So now we're going to go back to our door closer with the brand new hardware here, which is right over here, and we're going to go ahead and figure out what the next step is. Okay, now when you're looking at your installation instructions, it tells you, hang on a second, it tells you right here, step 1, locate the door to be replaced. Step 2, remove the door closer to be to be replaced from the door, which we've already done. Step 3, align the holes in the mounting plate with the existing mounting holes in the door. Flip the plate closer being replaced if mounted in parallel arm application. So these instructions here are okay for like a basic guide overview, but you also need to look at these instructions here, the 316R series installation instructions, and it gives you several different options on how to install it. So what you want to do is you want to look at your door and then compare this drawing here to how your door is. And I've already circled it. If you look here on the one that I've circled, you'll see that that is the exact same installation that we have right there. So that tells me that it's going to be this one here, which is the right hand door, left hand reverse. And I'll show you where that comes into play. That comes into play because now when you go to install this plate on the door, there's two different ways that you could install it. You could install it that way or this way. So this is the way according to the directions that I have right here. All you have to do is match up RH, LHR to RH, LHR. So I just wrote down this one, and it tells you what side of the door is the hinge side of the door. So now we know which way we're going to install the plate. It's going to go this way. This is on the hinge side. Now we have to determine exactly where on the door we want to place it. Now in order to do that, oh, and by the way, according to this right here, if you look at the directions, it tells you that for the regular arm installation, you go ahead and see page 3. So just come over here to page 3, and this is page 3 here. All right, now, when you're on page 3 on your diagram, it tells you, the amount of inches and all of this that it's supposed to, where it's supposed to be installed. But they also give you 3 templates. Now, you have the top jamb installation template, but our door closer is not a top jamb installation, because if it was a top jamb installation, it would look like this one right here, so that the door closer would go on the top of the jamb. That's not our case. That tells you it's a top jamb installation. So we know that we don't need this particular one, so we're just going to toss that one. The next one down is the standard application for a left-handed door. Now that one there is pretty, and here's the standard application for a right-handed door. Now we know that our door is a right-handed door because it tells you right here in this one, it's a right-handed door. So ours is going to be this one right here, standard application for a right-handed door. The last one, just to let you see it there, is a parallel application template for a right-handed door, meaning that you'd be utilizing this extra accessory that came with it, which is this accessory right here, which we don't need. If we did, it would be right here. This is the parallel arm installation where you need that extra piece in there. Ours isn't going to have that. We're not doing that type of an installation. So this here is our right-handed door, and this here is the template that we're going to get ready to install. Okay, the first thing that it wants to know, these lines here represent the edge of the door. So the first thing we need to know is, do we want to open the door 100 degrees, 130 degrees, and so forth. And then this one here is 180 degrees on that one. Well, if you look at the door, you'll see that this door can't open more than about 93 degrees because it's right there in the corner of, there's a wall right there. So I know that that door can only open up about 93 degrees. So when I look at my instructions here, I'm going to utilize this line right here as the edge of the door. And this tells you right here that the top of the door is this line right here. And then it also tells you from the top of the door where to put this plate here. Now on my particular plate, I've got a little bit of an issue because I only have so much room on mine. They made it especially difficult. If you look at the top of the jamb, I've got a very, very narrow window there of how much space that is. It's only about 3 inches, so it's a little bit more difficult on my installation, but we'll put the template up and we'll do it. Okay, I've got the template taped to the door temporarily exactly how I wanted to for the 100-degree opening. I put a piece of blue tape here on the top jamb, and I identified with some crosshairs where the top plate is going to go. Now, on this here, this tells you where the door closer is going to go. So what I did was I just took a black Sharpie, put a black mark there, and then put one dot in the top right-hand section of where this goes, and of where the door closer goes onto the door. And I'll show you why that's going to come into play here in 1 second. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull this off, since I don't need it anymore. That leaves behind me that one black mark that I had up there earlier. Now, I need to put up this plate right here. I know that the door closer is going to be mounted in these 4 holes, here, 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 and here. And I already put down, I know which side this goes, and this goes towards the hinge side of the door. So what you do is you take this top right-hand hole, you line that up with the black mark that I did so that I can see right through it. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and mount a couple of screws in here that came with the kit. This one here, I'll put one in here, and I'll put another one somewhere over here diagonally. So let me show you how to do that. I got one drill bit so I can pre-drill on my wooden door, 9/64 of an inch. Okay. And I got myself a torpedo level. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that hole right lined up. I'm going to level my plate here so that it's good and level. Everything is level right there. I'm going to go ahead and drill in right here. And one more over here diagonally from that one. Okay. Now, I'm going to switch over to a Phillips head. And then I'm going to go ahead and put that in right there. Make sure you don't strip it out when you do it. Okay, there's my plate installed. I got just 2 screws in there. I'm good and level, got a nice bubble. I can put 2 more screws in here for a total of 4. And this way this plate will be nice and anchored. I'm going to go ahead and pre-drill here for the top plate and get ready to install that one too. Okay, I've got the 4 screws mounted on the plate right now, so we're good there. See there, this one here came out a little loose. Let me see if I can't tighten that out a little bit. That's about it. Okay, and I mounted 1 screw here. I got to make the 2nd screw here in order to do that. So I like to put the 1 screw in so I know exactly where the center is, and then use my drill This is some good steel. This is some thick steel right here. Okay. Then I switch over to a Phillips. And because this is metal, I'm using a sheet metal self-tapping. I'm using a self-tapping screw there. Hang on. I got to, as long as I'm going to put this in, I'm also take this out. Sometimes these self-tappers get stuck at the end. Let me just pull off this tape. Okay. Now I can go ahead and mount this one back. Oh, wrong hole. It's this one over here. Now there's a Phillips head screw here. You want to make sure that that's facing up. That way if it comes loose, it won't drop to the floor. Now I'll just get that screw that I dropped. And I'll go ahead and mount that one right now. Okay, you just cinch that up by hand. There we go. And another one. Okay, now I can go ahead and put the closer on. Okay, I've got the closer here. It goes this way so that this portion goes towards the hinge side of the door. There's one adjustment on the top, that's for back check, so I just put a B there. The other two adjustments are on the side here. Let me get that in tight so that you can see that. Hold on. Hang on. Let me get that pen back. So right there it tells you that that one there is the latching speed, that one there is the door speed. Okay, let's get back to our project. Oh, and the screws that you're going to install are these little shorty screws here. Okay. So basically, I'm just going to start in the top right. Okay, just get it started, and then get the other ones in. Right there. Okay, there we go. And that one. And you can tighten everything up nice and tight. And the other one. Okay. Now we got to put the top arm on, and that's when we're going to use an adjustable wrench down here to get a little bit of tension on that, so we can have some tension on the door and everything. Alright, so we're going to get that ready. Right, okay, here we go. So basically this is going to come over here. This is going to come in here. There's a screw that goes in here, which is this one. Let me get that one started. It's just hand tight, not even hand tight, it's still loose, so I can still slide it and won't come out. Now, hang on, let me get this all set up. Okay. Now, that's going to go approximately so that this comes straight out. Right there is at the end of the adjustment, right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push that in while I tighten this one down. So there's some tension on keeping that closed. So I'm going to go right about like that, and then I'm going to tighten this one down. Now I got one last screw to put in, that's this Phillips. It's going to go here on the top. Let me start that one. This one is going to be a little hard for me because my ceiling, if I didn't have a ceiling right there, I could take my screwdriver and just tighten it down. But because the ceiling is right there, I'm going to have to do it a little bit more trick. I'm going to have to, let's see if I can't even, the ceiling is so tight to the closer that I can't even do something like this and tighten it down. So I'm just going to have to get my wrench on that and tighten it down. But in the meantime, we can go ahead and test the door. Okay, here we go. We're going to test the door out. That's actually not bad just as it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's about 5 seconds to get it closed. Certainly not going too fast. If I wanted to slow that down a little bit, all I got to do is put my Allen wrench, which came in the kit, on the speed of the door and just tighten that down half a turn, or keep testing it out until I slow it down. I like it between 5 and 7 seconds, so I'll tell you what, I'll go ahead and slow that one down a little bit. Okay, so here's the Allen wrench that came in the kit. We're going to go ahead and adjust it, and I'm just going to show you how to do that. On the back half of the closer here, I know you can't see it, but there's those two things I showed you earlier. The top one is latch, the bottom one is speed. I'm just going to put this in, the Allen wrench in the hole, and I'm just going to go, there's a half a turn, there's about 1 full turn. Now let's go ahead and test the door. Let's see how much we have on that right now so we can get a feel for what we're doing. All right, so there we go. All right, see that? 1 full turn, and that thing is just agonizingly way too slow. I'm going to back off on that a half of a turn. Okay, I adjusted it, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's about 6 seconds. It's not too bad. You notice how it gets a little bounce right there at the very end? That's the latching speed. goes kind of slow to modest. Then it picks up a little bit. So I'm going to take the latching speed, which is the top one, and I'm going to go ahead and give that a slight tightening down, which should slow that down a little bit. That's at the very last position now, the latching speed. Let's see what that does. It's not bad. Let me give it a little more. So basically it's just kind of playing around with it, finding the right thing. You can hear a squeak there. I got to lubricate the hinges, plus I still need to tighten down that top one a little bit better. Let's see if I can get that a little bit tighter. So that way it just doesn't really make any, when the door comes to an absolute rest, it's just almost whisper quiet. Get a little more out of that. And kind of looking at it, it might be a little bit too slow too. I might want to increase that out a little bit. So I might make that a little bit faster on the speed. So the latch I'm gonna kind of leave it at that. And the speed, I'm just gonna back off on that slightly. Just trying to find the right combination. Yeah, that's pretty good right there. That looked like, you know, a pretty good closing action. It's really mild to modest. There's some rubber stops in the door here. I'm going to make sure that those are in good condition. Actually, they look kind of flattened out. Let me show you those. Okay, you'll see right here. It's supposed to be, oops. It's supposed to be like a rubber grommet. There's 3 of them in the door. I'm going to go ahead and replace those. It looks like the top one isn't even there. Someone put some type of a foam there, but it's all garbage. I'll put a nice grommet. And then the one here on the bottom, that's pretty much at the end of its life. So we'll go ahead and put 3 new grommets so that way it's as quiet as can be. Okay, so first I'm just going to show you how to work on this one here, and then the rest of them are pretty much all the same. This here is one of the parts that I do use from, let's see, Granger. There's a Granger part number there. But since I've already got a bag of open ones here, I'll just go ahead and use 3 of these new ones. This here is what they look like out of the bag, just so that you can see, you know, what they kind of look like. Kind of like a little tapered cone there on the end of them. But basically, it's just a matter of taking like a flat bladed screwdriver or a pair of channel locks here, just squeezing that down, pulling that out, and then what you wound up with is just a hole. And then the way it's meant for is that if you have a special tool, you can put almost like an Allen wrench in there or something, stretch that out, but you don't have to do all that. What you can do is just simply just feed it down into the hole like this, and then just make sure that it's seated properly. Pretty much that's the whole thing. I'll go ahead and do the other 2 right now. Okay, so I just wanted to show you I got all 3 new grommets in there. That's the bottom one. And there's the middle one that you saw me change out. Oops. And then the one on the very top, I scraped out that other stuff and just put the grommet that was supposed to go up there right there. Okay, so that's that. All right, so now we're going to show you, I'm going to go ahead and test the door. By the way, I lubricated the hinges, so the hinges are super quiet now. So with the door open, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. About 6 seconds, and I like 5 to 7, so it's right there in the middle. And to see how quiet that was? That's a really nice action. This is a completed installation. Last thing I need to do is simply put the cover on. The closer will do that. All right, so here's the cover right here, and they protect it with this nice deal. It's just going to go on like that. There's 2 Phillips head screws that go on the sides. This is one of them right there. So it's just a matter of putting that on and tightening that up. And then just getting the other side. There it is. There's your cover on. Okay, that completes this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you have any comments or anything, go ahead and leave those. Check out my YouTube channel, which is Ken Training, and that's it. I'll see you later. Oh, by the way, click on like if you like the video. Give me some extra likes.